A scathing UN report calls Canada's temporary foreign worker program a breeding ground for modern-day slavery.
New allegations this morning involving Canada from India's top anti-money laundering agency. Officials there are linking dozens of Canadian colleges to alleged human smuggling of Indians.
To Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, and Moncton last year, and states women reported sexual harassment, exploitation, and abuse.
They force girls to do other things. They tell us to be sexual with them.
A former international student is speaking up about the exploitation she experienced as an Ontario renter.
They don't follow the rules.
Workers were encouraged to take painkillers or home remedies for health issues, and situations of 20 to 30 people sharing a single washroom.
My name is Munoim.
Where are you from, bro?
I'm from Bangladesh.
Okay, how long you been in Canada?
It's been 6 months.
And what do you think so far? Be honest, be honest.
This place is like crazy, bro.
Guys, it's my second week of trying to find an apartment for rent in Canada, and it's impossible. Every apartment that I like and price are good, they are already not available.
That's the scam. They're never planning on paying those amounts to those people. And what they do instead is they lie to them. When they get here, they pay them low wages, make them work all day for peanuts.
Hey, yo, Canadians, quick question. Why are some immigrants that chose to immigrate to Canada for a better life now choosing to illegally leave Canada? Like, has Canadian standards become so bad that people that left war-torn countries like Ukraine and poverty-stricken countries like India are now choosing to flee Canada? Has Canada become so unbearable that it's simply become a secondary layover landing spot for legal and illegal immigrants before they reach their preferred destination, the United States of America? From fraudulent school systems to a horrible housing market, this video not only uncovers the dark side of Canadian immigration, but it also exposes the greed and glutton of the Canadian government. But after you guys watch this video right here, I just have one question for you. Has the recent 10 years of Canada set us back too far? From viral videos to a recent protest, Canadians have clearly come to a common conclusion that they've had enough and it's time to fight back. Has the last 10 years set Canada back so far that it's time for Canadians to just give up on the Canadian dream altogether and decide finding a new place to live? I mean, the numbers don't lie. The statistics can prove it themselves. Canadians have never been moving out of Canada at this staggering rate since ever. Like fam, I can't make this up. Indians are literally moving to Canada and complaining that they moved to India. These politicians indiscriminately and obsessively bring in an abundance of immigrants without proper screening. It's just pure greed. From wage skimming and sexual advances to horrible work and living standards, these huge companies and creeps been abusing the temporary foreign worker program. People have this anger towards the Indians as if the Indians are winning out here and they're all just winning. Bro, that's a small amount of them. Most of these Indians get taken advantage of. At the end of the day, right is right, wrong is wrong, and this is inhumane. Alright, so let's get straight into these reactions. This first one is just a creepy cornball. This is what happens when creepy cornballs get money, you know what I mean? Essentially prostitution. Counselor claims students subjected to sexual abuse by landlords. This is just diabolical, bro.
They force girls to do other things. They tell us to be sexual with them.
A former international student is speaking up about the exploitation she experienced as an Ontario renter.
They don't follow the rules that they have to give 24-hour notice, 48-hour notice. They don't do that. They just come to your place, try to exploit you.
Afraid to
Imagine you're just chilling in your crib and your landlord just walks in.
share her identity, the former student says she knows other women who, like her, have experienced landlords coming to their units without notice, asking for sexual favors and offering reduced rent in exchange for sex acts. The issue was recently brought up at Brampton Council.
International student girls, as you saw in two of the pictures of posts that Councillor Keenan has shared, are essentially being prostituted for rent.
Councillor Ravenna Santos presented these.
Why is she laughing though? Why are you saying this with a grin and you're a woman?
Rental ads in front of council.
I'm telling you, some of these people don't even look at these immigrants like they're humane.
So
they exploit them in a way of sometimes having 4 or 5 beds in one room. They exploit them by, in the case at council, suggesting that sexual favors will give them discounts on rent, essentially prostitution.
Santos says many of these international students are unaware that they are being exploited, and without permanent status in the country, they are afraid to speak out.
Because of different cultural dynamics, don't even necessarily know what consent is.
That is crazy, bro. Because of cultural dynamics, they don't know what consent is.
And what friends with benefits means. You know, that ad showed friends with benefits. If you're willing to do friends with benefits, then you only have to pay $200.
Bro, this is not even funny, but like, oh, just the English grammar in it. Friends with benefits. What type of creepy? Oh my gosh, bro. You're going to hell, brother. Like, whoever did that, you're going to hell, bro. Friends with benefits. You get a cheaper price for friends with benefits. A big hairy man should have pulled up on you, bro, about friends with benefits.
Instead of $300. And it's absolutely disgusting.
According to Santos, the city is working with social agencies to connect with students and to support temporary residents who have been abused by their landlords.
At that time I was student, I didn't told it to anybody. I was just so depressed and I handled the situations myself.
Many of them end up going to social agencies and sharing that they've become pregnant or having mental health issues.
That's crazy, bro. Imagine getting knocked up by your landlord.
Some have committed suicide.
Some counselors suggest the residential.
You see what I'm saying, bro? Some people come here for a better life and end up ending their life. They come here and get a worser life, bro. If that's possible, but yeah.
Rental licensing pilot program could help crack down on abuses. The former student we spoke with adds awareness is also key.
Girls should know that they have the option and they should speak out and take actions against it.
Laveen Gill, Omni News, Brampton.
Now let's check out this video. Canada Foreign Worker Program called Contemporary Slavery in new UN report.
The United Nations is warning Canada that it risks failing to living up to its reputation as a global champion of human rights if it does not do more to prevent the exploitation of its temporary foreign workers. The report is based on a special rapporteur's visit to Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, and Moncton last year, and states women reported sexual harassment, exploitation, and abuse. Workers were encouraged to take painkillers or home remedies for health issues, and situations of 20 to 30 people sharing a single washroom. CTV's Colton Prale on the
20 to 30 people is sharing us. Oh my gosh. You already know, it's just smelling like straight biryani and bati crease, bro. I can't make this shit up.
Visiting UN report calls Canada's temporary foreign worker program a breeding ground for modern-day slavery.
A temporary immigration scheme that, by design, puts workers in a situation where they simply do not have access to the same rights as other workers.
The report takes aim at closed work permits, which limit workers to a specific employer, claiming they can foster exploitation where employers can control workers' access to housing, healthcare, and their migration status. In May, a Senate committee recommended Ottawa phase out these permits within the next 3 years and consider regional or sectoral permits.
The cure for this is not to do multiple program reforms without addressing the core issues at hand, which is potential abuse. So first address the abuse.
Industry has warned against eliminating the permits.
If there's a problem with a few bad actors, then there's compliance and enforcement rules already in place. Throw the book at them. Don't change the whole thing.
Historically used to support Canada's agricultural sector, the influx of temporary workers skyrocketed in recent years, from 84,000 in 2018 to roughly 150,000 last year. The increase largely driven not by farmhands, but low-wage workers, often in fast food restaurants.
It should never be used to bring in low-wage workers.
Hence the downfall of Canada's fast food industry. You know what I mean? You want to know about the downfall of Canada's fast food industry? You can check it up on my page. It's there.
From poor countries to take jobs away from or suppress the the wages of Canadian workers.
Last week, the government said it was considering limiting applications to that stream. The UN says ultimately temporary foreign workers need a better pathway to permanent residency and the same rights as workers across the country.
Bro, the workers aren't even happy out here, bro. They're scamming the workers. They don't get, like, bro, look at this.
My name is Munoim.
Where are you from, bro?
I'm from Bangladesh.
Okay, how long you been in Canada?
It's been 6 months.
And what do you think so far? Be honest. Be honest.
This place is like crazy, bro.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, in so many different ways.
Like how?
Like, for example, there is a customer here sitting in our Tim Hortons, and he speaks like a university professor, but he is homeless.
There's a lot of stuff like that going on, man. You know, did you ever...
And I've seen people getting at this brown guy for laughing, saying what's funny. Bro, he's laughing because the system's set up so messed up. Like, how does he have a job? He just came from a different country, and he's looking at somebody from Canada who's supposed to grow up in the Canadian dream. He has the vocabulary of a university student, but he's out here like a homeless person, sitting in Tim Hortons, begging for change. That's why he's laughing, bro. It's not a laugh of joy. It's a laugh of, you know what I mean? Uncertainty, uncomfortability.
You think you'd come to Canada and see so many homeless people?
Yeah, it's a good thing that I started with Tim Hortons, so I can see a lot of stuff that Canada doesn't show the world.
Does it make you worried at all?
This place is fucked up, to be honest. I'm not allowed to use this kind of language, but this place is really fucked up. It is really easy to be homeless here in Toronto because the rents are really high, and how the hell people are gonna afford the rent.
Have you thought about going back, or are you...
Especially if you're a man now. Imagine if you're a man now. You're not a woman, you're a man now, you know what I mean? Nobody's coming knocking your door talking about, oh, we're gonna change the rent from 6 bills to 3 bills, or you know what I mean? Fire pause, you know what I'm saying? But like, come on.
You're not going back. You're gonna make it work.
Yeah, at first I used to thought that I will go back anyhow. I will just earn money and go back. And now, yes, I have to do it. I have to go back. Currently, I'm studying computer programming. So, any good job on computer programming? Guys, it's my second week of trying to find an apartment for rent in Canada.
This is a Ukrainian guy.
It's impossible. Every apartment that I like and price are good, they are already not available. But they all still are on sites, and it's possible to make a viewing appointment. I had a lot of viewing appointments, and you know what? Yesterday I went to an apartment. I was waiting.
Immigrants are literally coming here. These immigrants are not having it like how our parents had it when they came here. Our parents were able to work low-wage jobs and support a family of 4. Bro, these guys can't even support themselves. They're coming here working 5 jobs, can't even support themselves, like dumpster diving basically.
I was waiting 1 hour for rental agent, and there's no one showed up, and I was waiting 1 hour, so I called to their office, and they was like, sorry, your appointment was cancelled. I was like, sorry, why no one didn't tell me? I was so sad. You know what? Today I had the same situation, and I spent more than $100 just for Uber to go to this apartment, and found out that it's already not available. So I'm gonna be homeless soon. So maybe you will find me somewhere under trees in some parks. If someone had an experience of renting an apartment, please write me some advice.
People are coming to this country for a better life and ending up homeless on the streets. You know what I mean? It gets worse, bro. It gets worse, bro. There's people out here trying to illegally immigrate to other countries now. You know what I mean? Let me pull that up for you. Canada honor-based immigration system being exploited, criminologist says.
Startling new allegations this morning involving Canada from India's top anti-money laundering agency. Officials there are linking dozens of Canadian colleges to alleged human smuggling of Indians into the United States. The Indian probe was launched after a tragedy along the Manitoba-U.S. border in 2022 when a family of 4 were found frozen to death while attempting to cross into the United States. Officials allege that 2 entities in India entered into agreements with
Now look at this, a family of 4 froze to death trying to migrate into America. This shit's unbelievable.
With 262 Canadian colleges to get people into Canada on student visas. They would then be smuggled across the border into the United States. And the Canadian colleges allegedly linked to this criminal network have not been named.
Now people are so stupid. They hear illegal in front of anything and they just think criminal, you know what I mean? And laws change. That's what you have to remember at the end of the day, you know what I mean? In some places you could once be locked up for smoking weed. Now you can smoke weed, you know what I mean? That's the funny thing about life. But yo, this is a woman and her 2 children and her husband. Do you think these people had any criminal things to do? Like, you know, they're literally in search for a better life. Like I said before, just like how our parents, most of us in Canada are immigrants. Just like how our parents came here looking for a better life. It's so sad that they had to. This is like a movie, bro. They had to go hike through the snow in Manitoba to get to
But lots to unpack here, so let's dig a little deeper with Kelly Sundberg, a former Canada Border Services Agency officer and currently a professor of criminology at Mount Royal University, joining us this morning in Calgary. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Chris. Nice to be here again.
So, Kelly, this investigation sheds light on how some individuals are using student visas and fake college admissions to facilitate illegal border crossings. What's your reaction to this method of smuggling?
I'm not surprised. This type of fraud of gaming our immigration system has been going on for quite some time, actually. I mean, it's yet another embarrassment for the federal government to have the Indian government identifying that the vast amount of their nationals who are using Canada as a conduit to get into the United States, some paying as high as $100,000 to be smuggled through Canada into the United States.
Bro, it's all a scam, bro. India is just mad at Canada because Canada just started scamming India back and they weren't breaking bread with them. I'm telling you right now, that's exactly what it is. I've been talking about this, bro. Canada and India have been having a weird relationship, bro. They have a weird relationship, bro. Let me go to my TikTok. Hold on. Where is it? Alright, check out this video I made on my TikTok this is months ago. This is like 6 months ago.
Another day of Canadian politics, people. India accused of interfering in Canada's Conservative Party race. Why is India on every side of Canada? Conservative, Liberal, Tim Hortons, they're everywhere. I don't get it. Poilievre says he won the Conservative race fair and square after reports allege Indian agents interfered by supporting fundraising efforts in Canada's South Asian community. Fam, I've been telling you guys, where's all this money? You guys are telling me, oh, Bangladesh is not India. Brother, you're all South Asian, brother. You get the point I'm trying to make. Just because I say Indian, you know what I'm trying to say, bro. Why are you guys getting all the funds? Make it make sense. From both sides now? It's not even just Justin Trudeau. You know what I mean? They're trying to finesse you and tell you conservative is better, and they're doing the exact same thing. There's no evidence Poilievre was aware, but PM Mark Carney is also facing scrutiny after a candidate reportedly dropped due to having ties with India. Are you serious? Listen, I hate to break it to you people, but us Canadians, we've all been tricked, led astray, bamboozled. You see what I'm saying? The Canadian government is in cahoots with other governments trying to sell us to the biggest bidder. You know what I mean? That's all they're trying to do. They have no loyalty to the Canadian people. It's just the Canadian government. It's just a bunch of plugs with other governments trying to get richer, and they're treating us like we're just a bunch of bhaktis, fam. Idiot thing.
Bro, if you don't understand what I said there, I basically, at the last part there, I said, bro, the Canadian government and other governments basically act like cartels, you know what I mean? If you don't know what cartels are, they're big drug dealers, and they treat us like we're just little crackheads. But yeah, let's get back into that video.
But frankly, I'm not surprised. We have an honor-based system and it's being exploited by transnational criminals and other individuals who simply are taking advantage of a system that has virtually no oversight or enforcement attached to it.
Well, and is that enforcement piece how it was able to go undetected, allegedly, for as long as it did and as wide as it did?
You know, there's a lot we've learned since 2022 after the tragic death of the Patel family just south of Manitoba. But one thing we do know is that our government does not screen temporary non-citizens very well, if at all. We see these documents that are being used. One of the games is they get a loan from one bank. They show the university that they show the visa office, visa officer that they have the money. Then the money's paid back before they get to Canada. Some of them don't even attend the university. This using fake documents to
Fam, these guys don't even attend these universities, and the Canadian government is in on it. The Canadian school system is in on it. Bro, this shit is like, I don't even, fam, Canada has just become a corrupt place. Has it always been like this? Have I just been delusional my whole life is what I'm thinking now. Because everybody seems to be getting a piece of the pie, except for me.
To support their claim, when we don't have the personnel, the technology, and the numbers to effectively screen documents, to screen individuals when we're not using biodata, we're going to have this type of fraud, and we're going to have more tragedies such as the Patel family that died on the plains just south of Winnipeg. And
I'm going to look into more of that too, the Patel family. I feel like that's a really, really interesting case, and I'm going to check if there's any documentaries on that, and I might react to that. You know what I mean? So I know you content creators watch my videos, bro. Don't steal my goddamn ideas.
Emerson. So we have a major problem in our country with how our government manages our immigration program. This investigation stems from a case in 2022, and we've seen yet again a lot of talk and a lot of seeming concern, but we've seen no action. The United States has been using biometric technologies, taking photographs, using facial recognition, fingerprints, in their processing of immigrants for well over a decade now. They've all but eliminated identity fraud in their program because they tie the fingerprints, the photograph to the documents, to the people, to the applications.
Bro, Canada is purposely, look how much money we put into police. Are you gonna tell me we can't have security like the United States on our borders or on our documents, and we can't have facial recognition linked to the, bro, look how secure our jail systems are. They're picking and choosing what they want to secure. You know what I mean? It's like leaving the back door open, basically. They're leaving the back door open.
They have systems that are in place to check for fraud. Canada doesn't use these technologies to the degree that the United States does. I mean, we have some very, very rudimentary technologies we use, but when it comes to temporary non-citizens coming into Canada, it is by and large an honor-based system that yet again we're seeing our system being gamed by transnational criminals, and the volume is staggering. I will say I'd be absolutely astonished to find out that there's colleges or universities that are actively and knowingly engaged in this criminal enterprise. But I'm not surprised at all that we see people both in Canada, the United States, and overseas that have coordinated to take advantage of our wide open system. And the volumes, I mean, one report saying 25,000 students a year from one company alone, another company with 10,000 foreign students being used coming through Canada a year. I mean, this is just unacceptable, and it's highly concerning.
None of this is on. They're all on track. They're all on, like, bro. These are people who are wording women. These are the criminals. You know what I mean? The degenerates of their society in India. You know what I mean? And they're just flooding over it. They're flooding. It's crazy, bro.
Okay, Kelly, well, you've been on the program a time or two raising many of these same concerns, obviously again today with these latest allegations, but thank you very much for coming on and telling us all about your concerns here.
All right, so I have one more video we're going to react to. This guy right here. Whistleblower exposes the temporary foreign workers scam.
Give me 1 second, because I'm going to expose the biggest scam in Canada happening right now. And it has to do with temporary foreign workers. Here's how it works. I'm sure you've all seen job postings like this, where in Canada, apparently they can't find a psychiatrist willing to accept a salary of $250,000 to $400,000 per year. Or there'll be restaurant managers where they're offering $37 an hour, or a student recruiter for $36 an hour, or a plumber for $36 an hour. Why is it always $36 an hour? Or why are they these high wages that apparently no Canadians can be found to be paid at these rates?
I literally seen a video like this today about Booster Juice. They're saying Booster Juice is offering immigrants $36 an hour. And $36 an hour for Booster Juice is kind of crazy, don't you think? How much do they pay normal Canadian citizens? $15 an hour? What's minimum wage? $17.50 an hour? Why are you paying immigrants $36 an hour? What's so special about these immigrants that are coming here and they can't even speak English, bro?
Not all, but a lot of these employers are...
I'll tell you what's special about it. They're deducting that extra change off their wage and underpaying them on top of that.
Selling these LMIA job offers to temporary workers overseas. They sell them for $30,000 to $40,000. So these people that are living overseas that want a better life in Canada, they're effectively paying for these jobs. So the restaurant or whoever is actually posting this, they're pocketing 40 grand. So if there's 10 people, that's almost $500,000 they're getting. And this is where it gets crazier. Workers sometimes get paid $5 an hour, and they work 12 to 14 hours a day. Employers then claim that $36 per hour as a tax write-off, as though they're paying that amount. That money isn't actually going to the people they're paying. They're getting that money back. That's why the United Nations said that this is a modern form of slavery that's happening in Canada with our temporary foreign worker program. Here's the crazy part. If you go on immigrationstatistics.ca, that uses the government's own data. So if you go on immigrationstatistics.ca, you'll see a massive chart that showed that last year we let in 3.1 million temporary foreign workers. Sorry, foreigners who are workers.
Bro, where was this guy at the protest? This is what I was talking about in my recent video about, yo, listen, there wasn't enough people with some takes I could agree with, or some, you know what I mean, some more polarizing figures, you know what I mean. This guy's be going viral on TikTok all the time, spitting the truth, you know what I mean. People be sending me his TikToks, you know what I mean.
Some of them, a smaller amount, were part of the temporary foreign worker program. The other foreign workers were part of the international mobility program. And in the preceding 3 years, nearly 7 million foreign workers were allowed into the country. It's all a scam. The immigration, the businesses that are profiting off of it, liberal immigration policy to allow these international foreign workers to come in, they're literally taking our jobs while corporations are making an insane amount of money off of this. That's the scam. They're never planning on paying those amounts to those people, and what they do instead is they lie to them. When they get here, they pay them low wages, make them work all day for peanuts. This is modern day slavery, and the way I see it, unless it gets changed, this is also state sponsored and endorsed by the Liberal Party of Canada. It's insane.
Yeah, bro. This shit is crazy, I won't lie to you. From the abuse to the wage scamming to the living conditions. Brother, these people are leaving a third world country, coming here back to worse conditions than a third world country, you know what I mean? And the pressures of all their family on them, all that shit, bro, it's crazy out here, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is just a different side of the whole Canadian immigration thing for you, bro. Because a lot of people see the Tim Hortons things, they see the jokes or the jokes people like me make, you know what I mean? Well, enough of my stuff is true, but I put a lot of satire in my stuff, you know what I mean? But I don't really see people covering this side of the Canadian immigration, you know what I mean, situation. So I decided, let me touch on this, you know what I mean, and show the injustices that a lot of these Canadian immigrants face, and you probably don't, you know what I mean? So hopefully we could empathize with empathize. Hopefully we can empathize with these people, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Get a better understanding of each other, you know what I mean? Because they're here to stay. So, you know what I mean? Unless my boy, what's his name? Paul Revere gets into offices and just starts deporting them, they're here to stay. I'm telling you, I'm sorry to tell you, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's the end of this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You watch the whole video, you know what I mean? I looked at my statistics the other day. There's like 3,000 recurring viewers. There's 3,000 recurring viewers. That means there's 3,000 of you people coming to my channel, watching it over and over and over again, and you're not subscribed. Stop being a ninja watcher. Support the channel, bro. Support is free in today's day, bro. Just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, support the channel, bro. You know what I mean? I'm off of this.